Training is one of those areas where small businesses try really hard. They purchase courses, they send their employees to seminars. Employees bring back these beautiful certificates that they put in frames and hang up in their cubes. But yet, the same issues keep showing up time and time again. When this happens, a manager is likely to assume, hey, my folks are taking a holiday when they're supposed to be at training. They're not learning anything. They're definitely not applying what they're learning. And then there are those who just flat out go, that's some weak training. And most of the times, how do we fix it? Oh, we'll just send them to another training class. And the cycle keeps repeating itself over and over again. But more often than not, the issue isn't the training itself. It's the missing target. I've worked with many small businesses that have told me, we keep sending people to training. Nothing is changing. And the truth is, these businesses, it's not that they're trying to cut corners. It's not that they're not in tune with what's going on with their employees and what their employees need. Honestly, they're doing everything they think they're supposed to do, but they're missing one step. See, no one has slowed down long enough to define what knowledge, skills, and abilities will actually make or break success in the role. Welcome back. I'm Bridget C. Lewis, and this is AI in HR, the RockstarBoss15, where we spend 15 minutes walking through one prompt, one tool, or one practical process that makes small business HR easier and more effective. No hype, no theory, just real support that you can actually use. Today, we're talking about how to stop pouring energy into training that does not move performance. And no, I'm not talking about the KSAs that we put on job descriptions, because in reality, the job description is a very poor guide to what actually happens day to day in the job. What happens is companies end up offering broad people and professional development opportunities. Everybody gets to participate in the team building and the customer service and all the different trainings that we do offer. But what we really need to see improvement in performance is something that is much more targeted. That's where our AI tool comes in today. Now, this prompt does not recommend courses. First, it separates the skills that people need from the ones that are just nice to have. Second, it highlights the gaps that actually show up in day-to-day performance. And third, it helps you decide where training is worth the effort. So friends, this is about focus, not about volume. So let's walk through the prompt using a realistic role example. As usual, we're going to review it in Microsoft Word so that you can clearly see the thinking that went in this prompt. As we have discussed in our other sessions, for those of you who are returning, this allows you to edit the prompt without accidentally submitting an incomplete prompt. So you recall the HR snapshot because that's the foundation. We covered the 3 parts of every prompt. We need a company profile. AI needs to know who you are. A problem section, it needs to know what you're trying to work on. And a output section, you have to tell it what you want it to give to you. At the top here, you see the company profile. This matters because AI gives better answers when it understands the environment that it's supposed to work in. So here we're grounding it in a real business. This is a multi-location restaurant group, and we have a real role. The context keeps the response from being generic. It helps you get practical, real, usable responses. Then you have to clearly define the role so that AI knows what we're working with. So this is not a job description. As I mentioned before, the job description doesn't really help us understand the day-to-day. So we have to tell it what actually happens in the role. And then we have the problem statement. And this, my friends, is one of the most important part of your prompt because the AI needs to know what it's trying to help you solve. So instead of saying, we need better training, we're going to name 3 specific performance symptoms that we've observed. Not that we think might be a problem, but that we have actually observed. So for this particular prompt, we're going to use 3 specific things that we've observed. The first is inconsistent shift leadership. Next is too much escalation to the GM. And the third is limited real-time coaching on the floor. These are the observable issues that we've seen. It's not our opinion. It's not what we think. It's what's actually happening on the floor. And this is what gives the AI a clear target. So when we focus on the problem, the output gets more clear. If you're vague, then guess what? AI will be vague too. And this is where most people miss their opportunity with AI. So now we're going to move to the skill requirement. And we're asking the AI to separate what skills are absolutely required from the ones that are just going to be helpful. Because if we have a problem right now, we want to address the problem that exists at the moment, not the one that could develop in the future. And then we want to connect the skills directly to the problems that we're seeing, those that actually show up in the performance. Now, here's the shift. We're not asking the AI to give us a long list of possible training courses that we might send our employees to. We're asking it to prioritize what matters most, what can wait, and what will actually move performance. If you can't observe it, if it's not something you can see, it's probably not what you want to focus on in this particular training. And the signature move for us here is we ask the AI to ask us clarifying questions to make sure that it understands clearly what we are looking for and to help us jog our memories as well. You may have forgotten some things that you need to address. So by asking the AI to ask us clarifying questions, we are able to fine tune it to make sure we get a tight output. All right. So now for the fun part, we're going to go over to ChatGPT. So you see that it has outlined the skill requirements for us that we asked it for. And it has also shown us what are the must-have versus the supportive skills. And then it has identified the skills gaps that are linked to the performance observations that we've made. And it gives us the highest impact missing skills. Here is your prioritized list of training needs based on what you have shared with me. Here are the questions. Do high volume shifts struggle more than the slower ones? How experienced are the current shift leads before their promotion? What decisions should the shift leads confidently make without your approval? It asks those questions so that it can use those responses to then further clarify our prompt. All right. So this is the key takeaway. AI can help you turn training from a guessing game into a true decision process. It can help you move from activity-based learning to outcome-based development. And it helps you defend your training choice with logic and not just your instinct. That's how we small businesses will stop wasting effort and start seeing results. So there you have it, my friends. Before you design another training course, before you lock in a single new vendor, before you invest in that fancy LMS platform that you've been looking at, let's get some things sorted out. This tool isn't about doing more training. It's about choosing the right training. Run it for one role in your small business and notice how much easier your training decisions are going to become.